Hey guys, it's TF Nut. Welcome back to the channel, and every Thursday in the month of October leading up to Halloween, I will be taking a look at a previously released or new, if I can make it work out, NECA horror action figure. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Ultimate Nightmare Demons figure from An American Werewolf in London, which I only have one of these right now. The idea is to buy 4 of these overall because there were 4 in the scene. I'm not doing that right now, but this is a little cheaper on websites like Big Bad Toy Store, maybe other retailers. I don't think this sold super duper well. I only decided to buy the one for now just to see how it ends up being. Let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging here. Yeah, it's got this, like, I don't never know what this is called, but you guys are kind of familiar with that. But you see this really cool illustration of all 4 different types of these nightmare demons with some fire there. It's a little hard to read this, but it does say An American Werewolf in London and Ultimate Nightmare Demons. Now, let me double check. So on this side, you're going to have, different images of the different faces. On each side, it does say American Werewolf in London. So here's this side with those 2 particular head sculpts. It also says NECA and Real Toys at the top. It's going to say that again on this side here, but you see completely different how those masks look. Now, on top of the packaging is nothing really special. It just says An American Werewolf in London, ages 17 and up at NECA right there, and a warning, choking hazard. Let's back out a little bit, and you do get to see the Universal logo right there. You also have a barcode in case you need it. We also have the credits right there, which is a little bit hard to read right there. If I could maybe zoom up a little bit. So, yeah, this is getting a little difficult to look at that, but that is all of the credits. I really appreciate when they do that. And then, looking on the back of the packaging, just some shots in a diorama, basically from that particular scene, with all 4 of those different versions of the demons. And you do see right there all the different accessories that these come with. When you open up the flap on a NECA Ultimate Horror figure, you have an image of all 4 of them right there, and then all the stuff that this figure comes with. Let's go ahead and get this out of the packaging. And here is the figure out of the packaging, giving you a 360 here. This is how it's packaged with this particular head. So during the detail portion, we'll take a look at this like that. Just want to say, though, this is not too bad of a figure. It's pretty nice. It is a little, I wouldn't say niche, but I don't think that many people are going to know about it, which is probably why it's not selling super duper well. But, if you like the look of these, or if you want to maybe use these bodies for, certain customs like these soldier bodies, that's probably a good idea. Let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories, then we'll take a closer look at the figure. Just like with last week's Michael review, I'm going to show you images of what these figures look like, holding their accessories and some of the alternate parts, just to save a little bit of time for me doing photos towards the end of the review. So as you see here, this is what the head that comes packaged with on the body looks like, holding the torch. And we get a special hand for holding the torch. We'll only get one left hand, and that is meant for holding knives, as well as different attachments on the guns, which I'll talk about in a little bit. You see that knife in the left hand right there, that clean knife. First of all, we'll talk about this torch. Now, one thing I like about the torch is the overall detailing. Not just in the fire here, but the actual stick also looks pretty good, like right around here. I feel like I'm pretty sure that when I took this off, that it was like this. But the thing is that this definitely has paint missing, where it's a little bit, darker brown, how that's molded, or that might also be painted. But then we have this lighter brown wash going on in here. And as you saw, this thing is detachable. And the idea, I think, is you can align it like that. I guess that covers it a little bit. But you can make it look like this, and it being on fire. You have this nice fire effect with a very light orange that has a little bit of darker orange around here and a nice translucent plastic. So yeah, that looks good. Then we have this clean, really nice knife here that might be a little too bright. I really like the silver that we have on the blade, and then the black on the handle. That looks really nice. And these little pieces right here, silver right in the handles. That looks really good. Then you also have the bloody knife, as you see again with that default head. I'll call it the default head, I guess. But with that alternate hand that is meant for holding the knives, I think it's actually packaged with it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then you have this bloody knife, which there's a little bit more going on here. It's also, I'm pretty sure if I'm looking at it, yeah, this is the exact same sculpt. So you get 2 of the same knife, which is fine. This is just bloody. Again, a little bit more blood would have been nice, not too bad. And pretty much the rest of the details on there are just as nice. Okay, moving on to some actual changes in the figure. We have this alternate head on here. I'll get into more detail about the heads in a little bit, but we're going to go into detail about some of the weapons. First of all, you do get 3 right hands, like I was mentioning. You get one for holding the torch, one that comes on the figure for holding the knife, as well as one for holding the weapons. So with this gun here, yeah, that looks really nice. There's supposed to look like there's some type of splatter on there, I guess. That's a very interesting effect that they have on here. But there's a nice glossy black plastic. What we have in the holes for the barrel, really nicely done. Looking right there. On the, I also like what we have on the handle as well as the trigger section. Lots of parts that seem a little fragile. We have the magazine, which in a lot of the images they were holding it on with the left hand right there. And then this stock right here is also a little bit of a fragile plastic. This whole thing is, so just be careful overall. Then we also have this alternate head there, but this is holding this smaller SMG, more modern looking SMG. This thing right here looks, again, there's some type of effect on the plastic. I neither like nor really dislike it. I'm a little indifferent on it. It's not too bad. But the actual sculpt work on this is really good. Again, that barrel, this little soft plastic piece right here, I think that's supposed to be a handle or some type of strap. And then we have just a lot of the inner workings that I don't know the name of, unfortunately, on this thing. But, you know, the very long magazine and the trigger, all of that looks really good. And then what we have here, you know, this like extendable stock piece right here, also a very fragile plastic. Be careful with that. One last alternate head to show off before I get into close detail about the alternate body parts of the figure. Holding this other more modern SMG. I feel like I've seen these with decent amounts of other NECA figures, which I'm you know, that's fine. I'm fine to have the same type of gun in my collection, honestly. This thing again has this type of splattering effect on here. I don't know if it's supposed to simulate like blood on the gun or something. Still looking not too bad. A lot of details overall in this glossy black plastic are very nicely done. Really digging how a lot of this looks. And then this barrel, this one doesn't seem too fragile just because of the nature of how this is designed. If you bend something like the handle or the magazine, then yeah, or the barrel too, maybe that'll probably break. Okay, so let's actually talk about some of these hands, which all these hands are done with like this glove, like this leather glove type of detailing and approach. You have these lines at the back of the hand there for all the gloves. Lots of scrunching and wrinkling in the palms, around the wrists too. You can see that in the palms and around the fingers. That looks nice. And this is the hand for holding the torch. And then you have this hand meant for holding every gun right there in the right hand. So that is very cool that these come with that. So the thing about popping these on is that, it's not too hard. Some of these heads are a little bit more difficult. I think this one shouldn't be too... Yeah, this one's not very hard to pop on at all. This particular more bald demon head. I think the only one that was really difficult was this one, though. So definitely not doing articulation with this one. But this looks fantastic. Look at how it definitely kind of looks like a mask, but it's kind of supposed to. But it's also just a really nicely detailed mask. That is just really sick how... The wrinkles around the eyes and the forehead. Sorry, I had to do a cut. But like in the ears too, that detailing in the eyes. All of that is very nicely done. Even like blood in the teeth, the way the gums come out. Different shading of like this purple, like almost like bruised looking type of paint around the eyes and the mouth there. All of that is just great. And like these veins around the head, very sharp wrinkles on the back of the head. And they all have these separate neck pieces too, with lots of wrinkles and paint going on there. Absolutely fantastic. Then you have this other type of head. Definitely more wolf looking. A little bit of a mix of both a wolf and a man. And you do have some like scarring right here. And on the other side too, very nice pointed ears as well. It's just like the details of like the gray in the eyes too. And like how those pupils look. Oh, that's fantastic. The paint shading that they have in the wrinkles. But then you have this light and dark brown paint and plastic going all the way around the hair. Very nicely sculpted and detailed all the way through. And then this separate neck piece. And those teeth and those gums and the lips. Very crazy how they did that. Last but not least, when it comes to these heads, we have... This one might be my favorite, honestly. Just the way this is super wolf looking. The
white here, this gray, it feels like they could have done a little bit more with it. It's not too bad. The way the eyes are just poking out, like the wrinkles around the forehead and the eyes, and this very wolf type nose, these fangs and the tongue. Fantastic. The gray on this on here is nicely painted as well. A little bit of white going all the way, like from the front to the back. Mostly in a black paint though, with the hair and then these pointed ears sticking out a little bit. Yeah, these things look fantastic. First thing I want to mention with this very gnarly looking head that this figure came packaged with is that this helmet is removable. You see here, we do have a soft plastic chin strap, which is actually slipping underneath the chin actually. The idea is simply, you would just carefully, slip that chin strap from the front of the face, and then you can pop the helmet off. So this is what that looks like without that on there. But you see on the back, you do have a pretty decent gap on the actual head. So unless you want to fill that out for whatever reason, I mean, there's going to be, extra plastic in the helmet to fit that groove. So you might have to sand that down. I don't think it's worth doing all that. I would just probably keep the helmet on, honestly. Which, speaking of, it looks really nice. Very good weathering going on, as well as like really nice, what kind of looks like just like not lots of gunk and maybe blood, like dried blood dripping down here. Very nice looking. It's like a little bit of light and dark green all mixed around there. Looking pretty good. Nice scratches and dents. This is really nicely detailed. Speaking of nicely detailed, this face sculpt, again, great detailing with those eyes, the way that the mouth and the nose look, the teeth and the gums. And then you have like this really dark, well, a little bit of light and dark brown in the skin tone, where you have like just really nice rotting flesh with like some light brown painted in there. But in the neck, you can see it's just in a dark brown sculpt, a little bit of paint, but not much going on, particularly there. But it still looks really good. A little bit actually, some nice detailing of scarring on the left side there. Now, when you're buying multiples of these, it's not much else to talk about when it comes to the the body. You're going to be getting a bunch of these, and you'll be familiar with them if you get enough. But the actual suit here still looks pretty good. Maybe this should have been like a 2-pack or even a 4-pack. I don't really know. But this particular body still looks really nice. I don't have any other NECA figures on hand right now that have, removable necks that could pop in here. And maybe you can, use these as soldier bodies if necks fit in there and you have like normal looking, head sculpts. But really great texturing of the green all throughout. It's mostly in just one dark tone of green with a little bit of some type of gloss going on. I think there's a little bit of like a wash or dry brushing going on in here too. You have this whole strap, this dark green on the shoulder, and then these little collar pieces looking really nice. The buttons look great too, how all that silver looks. You get some silver on the straps there. This whole piece is one piece, and I think it is a softer plastic, even though, you can't really tell because you have a hard plastic chest right underneath this. You could definitely, get a better idea of how, if this is a soft plastic when you're moving around this slight skirt piece on the coat, but it doesn't really budge that much. But then you get to like the nice seam line on the arm right there, as well as some wrinkles all around the, pretty much everywhere, like on the upper and lower arms. Seam line all the way here, on there as well. I also do like, there's nothing to write home about, but I do think that the hands that it comes packaged with are, they're pretty nice, similar detailed to the other hands that we have, the alternate hands with some of that wrinkling of the leather going on there. And then this is the hand it came packaged with, more of this smaller, it's not that small of a grip, but it is definitely a smaller grip compared to when it's holding the gun, as well as when it's holding the, when it's holding the torch. Again, really large pockets all throughout too. This belt, I think they tried to put, that might just straight up be a splotch. I can't tell. Maybe there was supposed to be some type of button here, but it looks like a splotch. I don't really know. Then we get down here. I think, I want to say this may be a reused body part, like the legs and maybe like the crotch area from other NECA figures that have just more of like a uniform type look. I don't know. Part of me wants to say Planet of the Apes figures. Don't think that's the case, but that's just kind of what it gives me the vibe of. Sometimes they've reused body molds with different characters, or not molds, but like different parts of body parts for different characters. Like if a character has jeans and there's 2 characters that NECA is making that has jeans, they may reuse them sometimes, but yeah, I don't think it's super present here. Can't really tell. Large seam line all the way down with lots of wrinkles in the green here. Very nicely done. Yeah, same thing on this side as well. Then you get to these boots, these nice like black shiny boots going on here. A little bit of a buckle, the silver buckle on both sides there. This long seam, I don't really know exactly what this part of the boot would be, but it goes all the way down the back of the leg there. Nothing really going on at the bottom of the feet. There's a little bit of a copyright right here, and then these peg holes. That's what the top of the feet look like. With some nice details of leather going on in here. So, you know, in some ways a little simplistic because you have a lot of just a military-looking outfit going on here. But then, like, where it really shines, of course, are these alternate heads, especially the one that it comes packaged with. Now, when it comes to articulation, range of motion isn't too bad, actually. Some areas could be better than others. All these heads don't actually have that bad of articulation. These 2 are really good, but I feel like these 2 are a little bit worse. I think this one might be the worst. Also, this head really does not want to fit on the peg going inside the body at the neck. So, at least with mine, that was a problem, so keep that in mind. But the head could go up actually not too bad. And going down could be a little bit better. But you are getting, you know, help in the range of motion because of this ball joint going to the body, but also a little bit of a ball joint from this part of the neck into the actual head. Then you have side to side and swiveling. There's actually no problem there. This should be able to swivel too. Yeah, that also swivels. Arms go all the way around here. Now the in and out is not great. It could be a little bit better. You do also have a little bit over 90 bend at the elbow, and then swiveling there. But yeah, unfortunately, this does get in the way of gun holding poses a little too much. Swivel at the hand as well as a hinge back and forth. That's for all the hands we come with. Now, because of this, you could still get, it's a little hindered, but you still get some nice swivel here. Forward and back is a little hindered too, a little bit side to side. I can't exactly tell you where ball joints begin and end at this torso, but you're not really going to get that much range of motion besides swiveling, unfortunately. Going forward, again, a soft plastic crotch piece, but it really doesn't want to kick out that much, back that much. I know these characters didn't do that much, but the range of motion, no matter what, will be a little bit limited. Splits aren't too bad, though. And then the thigh swivel actually is pretty good on this thing. Then we have a single joint knee, which almost gets 90. That's not great. You do have a swivel here. I thought there would be a swivel at the boot, but there's not. You do get an ankle rocker at least, and then up and down motion at the ankle. Measuring out the figure, we're looking at pretty close to 18.5 to 19 centimeters there. That will put this at around 7.5 inches. But as you can see, it's still going to be a little bit shorter compared to last week's review, which was the Halloween Kills Michael. I randomly had my SH Figure Art use guide, so you can see just how short that is compared to the figure in the middle. Far left and far right, we have a standard size Marvel Legends Spider-Man and a standard size Black Series Mando. You can see just how short they are. Overall, definitely not a bad figure, but I'm really only going to recommend this one if, you know, you really like American Werewolf in London and you like this scene in particular and you want to have all 4 of these demon soldiers here, or if you think the custom potential with this particular body and, you know, using these accessories is going to be worth your while. This is a little bit cheaper where I got it from, you know, Big Bad Toy Store. They have it marked down to $20, so there's that. All the stuff that it comes with, though, lots of really nice accessories. Again, you do have to buy 4 different figures, and you'll have all those accessories left over, unfortunately, which is maybe one of the reasons why people didn't want to buy that many of these. Kind of wish they just had the bodies in a 4-pack and had all of the heads, you know, spruced out and whatnot in that 4-pack. I don't really know what they were entirely thinking. They totally should have done that. But this is still not too bad. I think that the articulation is definitely a little lacking. I know NECA is not really known for articulation, but it definitely would have helped if it had a little bit of better range of motion. You can get it to almost about any pose you need it to get, though. Again, all great detailing in the figure and the different heads, the hands, accessories, all of that is still really fantastic. Sculpt work, paint, top notch as always with NECA. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about this figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.